Well, hello and welcome to our session today at Aspire, Finding Your Perfect Fit ERP, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, and Oracle NetSuite. We here at Velosio are very proud to represent two outstanding solutions that we want to make sure that you're very aware of. So first thing I wanted to do is introduce your presenters today. First of all, my name is Jeff Smith. I am a pre-sales solution engineer, and I focus my time on Business Central. I'd like you to welcome David Guan. David is a pre-sales solution engineer as well, and his specialty is NetSuite. So our expectations is that we're going to give you a little bit of a view of some of our thoughts around the two products and just give you something to think about. So first of all, our objectives for today are just learn more about the solutions, compare key functionality, and then just give you a little bit of information about how the Velosio team focus areas for the two products. You may be working today on one of Microsoft's legacy products, such as Dynamics GP, Dynamics SL, or Dynamics NAV, or you may be on some other ERP solution, but you're interested in finding out a little bit more about these solutions. So we'd like to make sure that you get a good feel, at least a starting spot for what they represent. So I'm going to start off by giving you a little bit of information about Dynamics 365 Business Central. That's a mouthful, right? But Microsoft has represented Business Central over the last 6 years or so. And it is a single comprehensive solution that meets the needs of growing business. I wanted to make sure that you knew all the different components of it because it is a true ERP solution. Anything from financial management to CRM or customer relationship management. We certainly are going to bring inventory and supply chain elements to the product as well. Also, if you're a project-oriented organization, if you are a manufacturer, or if you provide service for the products that you sell, we are going to be able to provide you with great options for meeting your business needs. Also, of course, none of this is important if we can't meet your reporting and analytics requirements. So certainly feel assured that we can do that. One of the other things that a lot of people don't think about is just the ability to integrate with other solutions. But what I'd like to talk about now is that Business Central is a true cloud-based application. And that's important on a variety of different levels, but certainly want to make sure that you understand that you'll have access to Business Central no matter how you work, where you work, and when you need information. So whether you're working via a browser or whether you're using a mobile app, Business Central will be available for you. So if you have an Apple iPhone or iPad, an Android device, or a Windows device, Business Central will be available for you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Mostly going to say a lot of the same things here on the NetSuite side. So NetSuite is also a modern ERP platform that was really built for the cloud. It's a unified system that's designed to handle all aspects of running your business, whether it's from accounting to finance, to supply chain, inventory or warehouse management, e-commerce, and much more. And just like you would expect with any full cloud solution, you're also going to be able to access NetSuite securely through your browser or with any mobile device. And now that we've introduced both systems, we'll also cover the similarities before highlighting the key differences between the two. So NetSuite and Business Central are both full-featured ERP solutions that natively sit in the cloud. Both also have a network of third-party solutions that are available, most of which are actually embedded directly into the solution. And both systems also use a streamlined chart of account structure that breaks out groupings like department or location for reporting purposes. And NetSuite refers to these as segments, while Business Central calls it the dimensional approach. And we also have some key differences to highlight as well. starting with the NetSuite side. So NetSuite actually maintains everything on one database. This means you can work out of all of your companies or entities or subsidiaries without having to log in and out of each. It also has a full CRM solution. And because it's native to the platform, the CRM is actually tied to financials as well. Additionally, the CRM suite also includes marketing, case management, and commissions calculations. For KPIs and metrics, NetSuite does have hundreds of pre-built metrics that can be displayed on a dashboard view if you like, as well as having a native reporting engine with over 100 out-of-the-box reports. And for pricing, NetSuite uses a modular licensing approach, which means you can customize the licensing based on your current needs and add additional licensing as you need. I'll pass it over to my colleague Jeff to talk about the Business Central differences.
Thanks, David. And one of the things that I think is really important here is just a fundamental difference from NetSuite to Business Central in regards to handling multiple companies. Whereas NetSuite has one master record database for multiple companies, Business Central out of the box really divides each company into its own separate database, so to speak. So each organization will have its own master records, whether that be a chart of accounts, vendors, customers, inventory items, fixed assets, etc. So it's something to keep in mind if you have multiple legal entities that all roll together. However, Microsoft has a partner that provides a third-party add-on solution that will then centralize them so that they're really working under one company umbrella, thus achieving the one master record process. It's very important to differentiate this because it certainly does affect the way you'll configure the system. Now, another thing that's really important, and I guess I don't want to underemphasize, I want to probably really make sure you're aware of, is the importance of a CRM solution in an organization. So while NetSuite has a native CRM solution, Microsoft's really taken a different approach to that. So they've developed over the years what's called Dynamics 365 client engagement, which is a separate product, but yet can be integrated with Business Central to provide you with that entire sales workflow and then integration into sales orders and sales invoices and the entire accounting solution. Now, if your needs are very simple, Business Central does have its own lightweight CRM. So really, this is an important area that you'll want to diagnose what your requirements are for the organization to make sure that you pick the right direction. Next, one of the things that NetSuite's so good at is all these pre-built metrics and dashboards, and its report editor is really strong. Microsoft has taken a little bit of a different approach here as well in regards to there are some native metrics that are available inside of Business Central. But really, one of the things that a lot of people like about Business Central is that it really leverages what I'll call the Microsoft ecosystem. So there's integration to provide more robust functionality than would be out of the box. So tools like Power BI, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Outlook, and Power Automate, those types of tools all have a natural integration right into Business Central to allow you to use those productivity tools to gain more functionality and streamline processes. Another thing that's important is that Business Central has a financial reporting tool out of the box. However, if you're really looking for a strong I guess very flexible ad hoc reporting tool, oftentimes Business Central will and Velosio will recommend a third-party reporting tool to give you that type of information, leveraging all the data that resides inside of Business Central. Now, one of the things that's a little bit different with Business Central also is it has a very bundled approach to licensing. So what I mean by that is there's really just two options. You have an essentials license, which includes virtually every module, every piece of functionality that exists in Business Central. And then you also have a premium license, which really adds the service management and manufacturing functionality. So all of the licensing is bundled together, making it very simple for you to get a good idea of what's there. And therefore, down the road, if you want to add new functionality, say someone wants to add fixed assets they didn't have originally, there's no additional software to purchase. Now, one of the last things that I'll say when we're talking about differences is that Business Central also, for those who require it, also offers an on-premise option. Now, I would tell you that 98% of all the Business Central clients out there are on the cloud, in the cloud, which is very important and very strategic. There are certain circumstances where an on-premise solution comes in handy, and therefore Business Central does offer that as well. So just a couple quick things that I wanted to focus on as we talked about the differences. And I think this will be clear as you look through the next few slides that we go through, is the way Business Central handles multiple companies. So each company has its own master records, but you do have the ability to also create a consolidation company or multiple consolidation companies. So let's say, for instance, that you have 5 individual organizations. You want to have a roll-up of 3 of them and the other 2 of them, and then have a roll-up of all of them, then Business Central really handles that very nicely, giving you multiple levels of roll-up for the financial reporting that you require. The other thing that it does is it accommodates the idea of partial ownership as well. So each individual company that's set up in Business Central becomes what's called a business unit, and you can define the consolidation percentage that's required for each of those. So it really does provide you with some good flexibility. Now, on the other side of things, we talked about options in regards to being able to have an add-on product. So I did want to just make sure you knew, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but we do have a multi-entity tool that allows you to set up a single Business Central database that handles multiple companies and then drops a layer of security on top. And I just really wanted to emphasize this Microsoft ecosystem just one more time, because I think it's really important in regards to making sure that you know how you can leverage these productivity tools. This is a little hard to see on a slide, but I just wanted to make sure that we reemphasize the integration to Outlook. So we actually can do a number of things inside of Outlook. We can look up customers, vendors, we can get activity information from them. We also have the ability to produce documents such as sales quotes or purchase orders or a number of others. And you can do all of that while working inside of Outlook. So many of your either sales team or maybe your procurement team may be in Outlook all day. They never have to leave. And as soon as they enter those transactions, they can email them out and it'll update Business Central automatically. You'll also notice that we have Power BI, which allows us to create visualizations, which you're going to get great functionality on both the Business Central and on the NetSuite side, but the ability to build in those Power BI dashboards that can be embedded inside of Business Central or run independently. And then lastly, the ability to interface with Microsoft Teams. So many of our clients are using Office 365 or Microsoft 365. Microsoft Teams can be a vital part of that from a collaboration and communication perspective. And there are many great ways that Business Central can interface with that, along with a number of other tools.
All right. And then on the NetSuite side, it helps you manage subsidiaries and the consolidation of those subsidiaries very easily. As you can see on one of the screenshots there, right, you're going to be able to see the consolidated reporting. in a number of financial reports, all the way from the very bottom level, right? Maybe a mid-tier consolidation, or even a roll up all the way to the very top. For your intercompany transactions, those are services or expenses between your subsidiaries, or even cross subsidiary purchases, things like that. Those can all be automated very easily, as well as the elimination entries, the period end elimination entries as well. So that'll save your accounting team a lot of time, especially if you have a lot of transactions going on between your entities. For the native reporting and dashboards, I know we mentioned this earlier, and Jeff alluded to it as well. So NetSuite out of the box has hundreds of these reports, including the ones that are actually pre-formatted to country-specific requirements, especially around statutory reporting. Right, if you have different reporting needs in different countries, those are all things that NetSuite supports. And also NetSuite has a built-in visualization tool as well. It's called Suite Analytics Workbooks, and that just gives you an additional facet in addition to the out-of-the-box reporting, where you can basically build out charts, do pivot tables, and etc. And for the CRM suite, so once again, because this is all integrated with the financial data, your sales team is going to have basically a 360 view of a customer or a prospect, all from one place, right? So you can see all the information about that customer or prospect, and then you can see their overdues, their balances, and even current transactions as well on that first screenshot there at the top. As well as being able to track marketing analytics. Right, you can also see a marketing campaign and track all the associated transactions, profit, and costs associated with that. And also for case management, you're going to be able to create and have your customers submit cases or issues, and then have your own representatives be able to follow up and track the status of all of those. Right. So here at Velosio, we do have certain areas that we focus on more heavily, mostly due to us having that expertise on our teams. And in some cases, we've even developed certain IPs that specialize for the system in those areas. So on the NetSuite side, and again, these are really just the best fits, right? It's not saying that if you have, if you're in a certain industry, we can't support that on either side, whether it's NetSuite or Business Central. But for NetSuite in particular, we typically work with a lot of restaurant distributors. We actually built out our own auto quotes integration. So that's really helpful in kind of automating and streamlining that piece of the process. Also, if you are a company with multiple subsidiaries, NetSuite does automate that very well, especially with the elimination entries as well. For financials, if you're just looking for financials or accounting system, that's great. And as well as if you're looking for a system that has a built-in CRM, that's also something we see a lot of. All right, Jeff, I'll pass it over to you for the Business Central side.
Thank you. So from a Business Central perspective, we do a lot of work wrapped around really four things. And just like David said, not that these are the only things, but these are predominant. We have a number of manufacturers that are using Business Central, and so the manufacturing modules within Business Central, alongside some other products that are available as add-ons, really allows us to automate shop floor activities, make sure that we're monitoring costs properly, we're evaluating our inventory appropriately as well. And so also then meeting those required dates and being able to do very actionable MRP functionality. We are very strong in the distribution space as well. And then, I guess just like David said, financials. You would be disappointed if we had everything but financials. We are very strong on the financial side as well. And as we mentioned earlier, both of our products really take more of a dimensional or segmented approach to the chart of accounts, which gives us great flexibility in regards to reporting different units within our business, as well as managing a small chart of accounts. And then lastly, we spend a lot of time on professional services. So if you're a consulting firm, if you're an architecture firm, engineering, etc., we have a very strong application related to project accounting and resource management that really stands out and gives us great functionality for those types of organizations.
Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for us here on this presentation. Thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions on anything you've seen today, please feel free to reach out to either myself, Dave Guan, or Jeff Smith on the Business Central side. If you have more general questions, please feel free to reach out to your client account manager, and they can direct you either to us or the right resource. Please stay tuned. We do have an outro video that will play soon. And once again, thank you for attending.